welcome. Oh, in today's video, this is an exciting one. I am doing a video in collaboration here with my really good friend on YouTube. Her name's Smithy Sony. She is wonderful, sweet, kind, so funny, has so much energy. Love this girl. So this video is in collaboration with her, and we are doing our favorite multi-chromes. So we each chose 7 multi-chromes that we just feel are unique or special, or we just truly love in our collections. So today's video is going to be all about those multi-chromes and making 7 looks with those. So if you like that kind of content, make sure you stay tuned. Oh yes, hello my friends, new or returning. I truly appreciate you being here. This is a special video today, like I said, in collaboration with my good friend here on YouTube, Smithy Sony. We met here about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago, just as our channels were new and, you know what I mean, just starting to grow a little bit. We found each other here on YouTube, and we've been really good friends since. And I finally got to meet her in person, and she's just adorable. Love her. She's got so much energy. If you love, you know, content that has like dupes, so you know you're trying to save some money, don't want to buy all the new releases, because let's just face it, there's so many releases all the time. So if you're somebody that is just looking for ways to find those same types of looks, you know, same types of shadows in your own collection, I highly recommend you check out her channel. She does a lot of dupes on current palettes, build your own palettes, you know, just a lot of wonderful, awesome content over there. So when you're finished here watching this video, make sure you go check her out. I will link her video in the cards as well as down below. And yes, thank you Smithy so much for doing this with me. I'm so glad to collaborate again with you. So this is our second collaboration, but our first one was like right when we met each other. So this is special. So yes, thank you Smithy. So glad to do this with you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, so yes, I had to pick 7 multi-chromes. And again, this is very, very hard. I didn't realize or didn't think about how tough this would be. And I will warn you, a lot of mine are very similar just because I do have, you know, certain tastes, certain types of shadows that I just gravitate towards and I just love. So this is my little palette that I put together. So I have 7 in here. I will tell you though, this is kind of an extra. I had added this, I did a look with it and was like, I don't know about that. So I left it in here just in case. I wanted to show the look, at least to show you kind of what I was talking about. But this top row here and then these 3 here are the first 6 that I'm going to show you and review and show you my looks that I put together with. 2 of the looks we're going to do here together because they are same company. One of them I wanted to kind of finish out, since it is Halloween season, I wanted to finish out kind of with a Halloween look. So very last one is going to be the one that I would think is more grungy, more like reminds me of Halloween. Yeah, so we're going to finish with that one. And then the other one is actually out of a palette. I know I've raved about this palette nonstop. Heather Austin, Adept Cosmetics palette. This palette is gorgeous. And there are a bunch of beautiful special shades in here, but the one that I'm drawn to the most is this one called Passport. It is just gorgeous. And then also this one here called Austin is really unique and special as well. But this one here just has the tones that I really, really like. So I did do a look with this, so I'll show you that as well and describe the shade as I do that, because again, it does have a lot of shifts. But those are the ones that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show you each of the shadows, show you the look, and tell you a little bit why I like them so much. So again, we're gonna start off with this very first one. And again, I just went in order of like how I did my looks. So this first one here is really, really pretty. This is by Davina, and it's a shade called Bubble Fizz. It has a light base, as you see, shifts from pink to kind of a magenta, purple, blue, silver, and almost like an aqua blue. This shadow is so, so pretty. And again, I wish you could see the shifts more. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'm seeing definitely pink is very pronounced the way I'm seeing it. Definitely seeing kind of the silver, almost aqua blue. Those are the ones that seem to shine through the most for me. And then definitely like a pink to purple, magenta type of shade. Now this is a look I did with this shadow. And of course, to do these looks, did have to pull out some, you know, other palettes to be able to pick some mattes. So you will see I went into the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 Subliminal. And I went with this one because it was a little bit more cool toned. I feel like a lot of these shadows, some of these are a little bit more like give me like a cool tone feel. So the first shade I went with was this transition shade. It was the third shade, top row, all over the lid. I went into the shade next to it, which is like more of a taupey brown kind of color. And I used that just to deepen up the crease a little bit. And again, this is all still from that same palette from the Mothership 1. Next, I went into the Ammoni by Adept Cosmetics. And this palette is just gorgeous. And I went with a shade, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but I don't know if it's Taw. P-T-A-H, but that's like a beautiful pinky purple shade, and I used that again just to kind of give a little bit more depth to the crease. And Ammoni has some unusual unique names to the palette. So next I went in with a shade called Ammotep. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, sorry if I'm not. And then I just put a little bit more of that purple taw shade in there just to give it a little bit more. I felt like I was losing a little bit of the depth. So I definitely wanted the purple to shine through. And I just used that shade Ammotep to deepen up the outer V, and then put a little bit more of the purple in the crease there just to blend it out a little bit and give it a little bit more of that purple back because I felt like I was losing that. And then this beauty applied her. She is gorgeous. So, but that is the first look. And again, that was using the shade Bubble Fizz by Devinah Cosmetics. And then what really changed the look of this, I did use the Kaleidos eyeliner, and I used the color Sea Sparkle, which is such a pretty blue. It's just gorgeous. And these, I'm telling you, if you're looking for some eyeliners, I know I said it before, but the Kaleidos eyeliners are just insane. They're gorgeous. Have amazing lasting power. They do not budge. Once you get those on there and they're on, they do not budge. So depending on how you feel about that, I do highly recommend. And then like I said, the star of the show though on that one is that Devinah Cosmetics Bubble Fizz. So that is look 1. So for look 2, I went ahead and went with this next shade here, which to me in this pan, so I'm seeing a lot of aqua blue, I'm seeing pink, like a silver, even almost like gold and green. But this one is Terra Moon's The Cosmos, and it is gorgeous. This thing is foiled. It is, whew, yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. It's an extreme multi-chrome shade that has a large mica particle size. It shifts light blue, lavender, green, and gold. I feel like you can see some of the blue, maybe even some pink, gold. And this one is just beautiful. This one was a little bit more unique to me. That's why I chose that one. I thought it was so pretty. And then the look I put together with this one was definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm not gonna even lie. So when I did this look, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it was actually kind of cool. So I went with it, you know? Sometimes you just gotta go with it. And putting this look together, the palette that really came in handy for me on this one was this Michaela and Glam Light Pot 2. So in this look, I started out with a color no hash lines, I guess that's how it's supposed to maybe be. So really pretty blue, and actually that was pretty pigmented. So I was impressed with that one. Next I went with the color Wicked Awesome, a little deeper blue. So this one I pretty much kept monochromatic as far as like the base of the look, and stuck with pretty much these like blue colors in the bottom. So this one I used, and I kind of built out the outer V to really give that depth. And I went back in with this lighter shade, No Hash Lines, and tried to blend out some of that deep blue and just give more dimension to the crease again, because I felt like I lost some of that blue. Then next I went in with this shade 2021, which is kind of like the medium blue, and actually packed that kind of in the middle of the eye, kind of give a transition from that really deep blue to like a mid blue. And then I pretty much stopped there and then went with this special shade, the Terra Moon's The Cosmos shade. And I put that all over, and it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, that shade, like on the lid, it kind of shifts like pink. You can see the blue, the lavender. I mean, you can kind of see it all, but it is so pretty. It's such a pretty shade. I deepened the outer V again a little bit with that deep blue just because I felt like I was losing that just with the addition of that beautiful multi-chrome shade. It is gorgeous. That shade just, woo. And then I stamped that darkest shade, which I think is actually a blackest black on this last shade here. I put that along the lash line there just to give it a little more dimension. And I took the medium and the deeper blue along the lower lash line. And then I just tried to blend that out a little bit, less than any harsh lines with that lighter blue again. And then this is the final look. Now this look was definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think the look was so pretty. I just think it was just different for me. So I thought that was really cool. So I hope you enjoyed that one. The next look I did was using this special shade here from Glaminatrix. It's called Luster. And I had to be really, really careful for this one. It is very loose, very soft, and I actually dropped it and almost all of it came out of the pan and I had to press it back in. I was like, no. So, but I saved it. So there she is. And I wore this one to work. See that like berry base? And then it's got like a purple blue shift, like a strong shift. But this shade is so pretty. I wore this to work and I'm telling you, it was amazing how many like compliments I got. So Glaminatrix shade Luster is a purple magenta blue shift. And as you see, it definitely has like that magenta as like the base, but it's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I think this was probably one of my favorite looks I did. I was like, ooh. And I remember wearing this shade before and I was like, I just remember it being so unique. And then just how it transformed my look. I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. So with this one, I started off with the Bella Beauty Bar Burn Book, the Unoriginal Nudes. And I started with this shade Say. Just a nice transition base shade. And again, this Michaela Pot 2 Glam Light palette came in extremely handy. So in this one, I used the row of purples. So I started off with Mama Wang, I don't know. I used that in the crease to give a little bit more color. Then I went in with this deepest shade called Authenticity. That was the next shade. And that one I used in the outer V. Very, very pretty shade. I love that row of purples. Those purples are so pretty in this palette. Next, I went in with the shade Mimu, and I used that kind of to blend out that outer V, like in the crease, to give a little dimension there. But yeah, I love this look. I love purples though, so purples just get me. I went back in with that lightest shade, Mama Wang, I don't know. And just used that in the crease there to kind of blend out those other shades. Next, I went in with the shade Pat Rice. I think that's how you pronounce that. And I put that in the middle part of the eyelid. Again, kind of that transition from that deepest shade. And then I went ahead and applied that special Glaminatrix shade. And this, when you put it on, ooh, I mean, it just automatically, you can see the shifts on this one. That blue is like a strong, strong shift in here. And it is so pretty. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorites from this. And then I did go in the inner corner with this top shade of the Glam Light palette called Glazed and put that on the inner corner. This one I used the Night of Creation eyeliner again, which is just so pretty. Love that eyeliner. But again, most of those are just gorgeous. So I did do that after I put some like liquid liner, some black liquid liner. I put that on and it's just so pretty. So yeah, so there's the final look on that one. Have to let me know what you think. But yeah, I think that was one of my favorites. And like I said, when I was at work, I got so many compliments on that one. I was like, oh, so, so pretty. But that one I just love. Now, if you want, again, some more dimension, you want it to really, to be able to really see the, you know, shift and the change, that is one I definitely recommend. That one has a very strong shift, but it's such a pretty color, such a pretty color. Oh my gosh, love that one. Now this next one, I started to use this other shade here. Again, the one that I was talking about, I wasn't sure about. So I'm just gonna show you this look real quick. But this is the shade Australis by Devinah Cosmetics. It's really, really pretty. And I'm just gonna put it, since it's not really part of my main, I'm gonna put it here and show you. It is so pretty. But on the eye, you don't really see much of the shift. It's very smooth, it's very pretty, it has a dark base, but it doesn't really show much on the eye. So again, just because I didn't really include this one, I'll just show you the look I came up with and you can let me know what you think. But to me, it was just so dark. And then like I said, I just didn't really see a lot of the shift. So I decided not to include that one and I went with another, but it didn't really make my eyes pop though, I will say that. Okay, anyway, so yeah, so unfortunately I kind of nixed that one. So the next color I went with is right here, this shade here. And this is by Glam Shop and it's called, it just says Dynasty Series 1. So I don't know what the actual color is, but it is so pretty. Like that one, when I looked, I had to find a replacement for that other one because like I said, I just wasn't feeling that one. And then when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah. Again, just so pretty. And a lot of these kind of look similar on the pan, or, you know, have some similarities, but they definitely have some differences as well. So this one, unfortunately, I can't find anymore on Glam Shop. But from what I see as far as the shift, I see blue, pink, purple, green, and almost very like a rainbow. Maybe even some orange. But yeah, I see a lot of different colors in there. It is so pretty. So the green, pink, and purple are definitely the most pronounced. Now for this look, I actually brought out the new Huda Beauty Empowered palette because I do like some of these cooler tones on this side, and I just really wanted to test out this palette. First shade I'm using here is called Big Dreams, and I basically put that all over the lid as my base like transition shade. It's just a very nice like cooler toned mid-brown, almost a little taupe. Next I deepened it with the shade Confident. I used that on the outer V to give some dimension, and I didn't want to overtake this look, so I kept this one a little bit more simple. So next I went into Pat McGrath, also the new palette here. It is the Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette, and what I was drawn to in here is this pink shade, which I think is called Venetian Peony, but that is what I used next. Such a pretty shade, and it really has some depth, like it has some color payoff. But I think this really transformed the look. I really like that pink. So again, just because I was keeping it kind of simple, I left it there and then put on the very special Glam Shop shade there. And it's so pretty. You can see a lot of the purples there, pink. Such a pretty color though. I think this is one of my other favorites. I think this is probably my second favorite out of these. Like I love this shade. So pretty. And I was trying to catch the shift shine, but it was really hard. For a lot of these looks, I ended up using my Pat McGrath highlighter in the shade Lunar Allure. It's just a very nice, like cool toned, light highlighter. So I used this a lot for like inner corner highlight, brow bone highlight, and a lot of these looks. And then under the lash line there, the lower lash line, I went back into the Huda Beauty and I combined this shade here called Rebel with that darker shade called Confident to put along the lower lash line. And in the inner part of the lower lash line, I just applied more of that Glam Shop Multichrome. And again, I didn't want to overtake the look on this one, so I did just do my like black liquid liner and then left it at that. But to me, this shade or this like look was probably the most like wearable, like everyday that I could get away with. You know what I mean? For like everyday wear. Love that look. Oh my gosh. The next look I did was using the Heather Austin palette. And again, like I said, I love this multichrome here called Passport. And I'm not sure if they describe. Now I know in her video that she did with the launch, that Heather Austin posted with the launch, she did talk about the shadows more and did, you know what I mean, mention the shifts and the meaning behind the shades and what, you know, what colors they are, that kind of thing. But I don't have that video readily available. So I'm just gonna swatch it and tell you what I see. And again, sorry, some of these will look very familiar or very similar, just because they are just the shades that I gravitate towards. Like these kind of colors are just more wearable to me. But yeah, they're so beautiful. So what I'm seeing in here is definitely like a light blue, pink, like almost kind of like that magenta again, silver, and maybe a little bit of green. But I feel like the pink and the blue, and then there's some purple, are definitely like the more prominent colors in there. So the look I put together using this one is I did start off with this shade, and I tried to stick with just this palette. I started off with this shade Atlas and used that in the crease. It's definitely a more warm tone shadow, but again, I think all of these I think she did a great job on this palette and just, you know, curating this and making the colors work together, but because they do, they just work together. And then my other favorite shade, like matte, is the PA02 shade down here. So I use this to deepen the outer V, and that's pretty much all I did. I kept it kind of simple as far as that part, so that the main shade could shine. And in Passport, I used like the inner corner to the middle of the eye. I used that shade. And on the outer part, I did use the shade 0603, kind of in the outer, like the transition from that, you know what I mean, to the dark shade, to like the outer V shade. And this look is just timeless to me. Like I think this look, again, is just another wearable one that I feel like I could get away with like wearing in different situations, different, you know what I mean? Like I would feel comfortable wearing this look on the daily as well. Whereas some of the other ones were a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like more editorial, as Smithy said. So those are the first few, so the first 5. And again, the last 2 we're gonna do looks together. So the first one I'm gonna do here, because again, I do wanna leave this more like grungy shade. I wanna leave that for last to be kind of like that end of the like Halloween look. So this one here is the shade Bloodline by Cleona Cosmetics. And Cleona is one of my favorite for like multi-chromes, iridescent shades, you know, special shades in general. They're just one of my favorites. They are pricey, I'm not gonna lie, but I think they're very, very high quality, and I just love the look. Just her presentation of the shades I think is so nice and unique. But there she is. And again, sorry, a lot of these will look kind of similar, but you can see there are some differences either in the way they shift or the base of the shadow looks a little bit different from one to the next. But this shade here, again, that's the one we're going to do a look on, but how they describe it as a burgundy berry base that shifts gold, green, turquoise, blue, purple. So again, I don't know if you can really see all those colors, but that's quite a shift. That's a lot of colors. So this one to me, I think is just so pretty. I definitely see the like a peachy, they're just describing it as gold, but it kind of looks peachy to me. I see green, I see the berry, but yeah, this one is just so pretty. I mean, they're all pretty, but that one is just a little bit more unique than, you know what I mean? It's just different than the other ones. Just put it that way. But yeah, so pretty. So this one we're gonna make a look with. All right, so I think doing this one, I wanna check out this palette. This is one I just bought recently. It's by Glam Shop. It's called Ballada Mcgrath. Again, sorry, they're based overseas. But yeah, so I think this one, I just want to check out this palette, and I think it's a really, really pretty palette with some like pinkier tones that I think might look nice with this. So I think we're gonna go into this and we'll see how this goes. So I'm not even gonna be able to say the name, so I'll just put them across because again, they are in a different language. So, but we're gonna go with this pinky mauve shade as the first shade. I'm sorry if my nails look a mess. I keep digging my fingers into the shades. I'm like, really? I'm messing up all my shades, just digging my fingers into them. So I apologize if my fingers look a mess. But yeah, so we're gonna go with this first shade. And again, I haven't even tested this yet, so we're gonna see how this goes. But I think this just had really pretty tones to me. And again, it was one that I wanted to try because I don't think I've tried Glam Shop's mattes. I've done their metallics and multichromes, obviously, but I've never done any of their mattes. So I think it's really pretty. I apologize, I'm just using my mirror here because, you know. So there's the first shade. I'm gonna deepen it a little bit with this shade here. And we'll blend everything out a little bit better here at the end. So mattes are definitely a little bit more powdery. Definitely some kick up there. They seem to blend nice. And to deepen it up, we're going to use this corner shade here in the outer V. There's that shade there. It's just a nice, you know, like darker, I'd say more neutral brown. And I did forget to mention in the very beginning, but the rest of my makeup was already done. So I did all that so that I only had to worry about the eye look. And I'll try to remember to list all the products down below. I apologize, I'm usually really bad about that. They seem pretty easy to blend. So yeah, not bad. So again, I don't want to overwhelm this look either. So I think I'm gonna kind of keep it there, blend a little bit, and then we'll put the special shade on, the multichrome. All right, so yes, we're gonna go ahead and apply this Cleona multichrome called Bloodline. And there's definitely a lot of ways you could have gone with this, or we could have gone with this, you know, as far as like the base colors. But again, I just didn't want the look overtaken. And again, if you really wanted to make these like really pop, you could put like a black base. And you could definitely use glitter glue, which I have not used, again, just because I'm going to be wiping all this off very shortly and I don't have to worry about it staying very long. So, but you could definitely, and NYX glitter glue is definitely a good one to use. if you did want to use that. But I mean, even as you see, even with that, I'm not having a whole lot of fallout. Like, I don't really see anything on my face. So I'm gonna put just a little bit more, see if we can get a little bit more oomph. There we are. I'm gonna blend a little bit more, and then I'm gonna put liner, mascara, finish up the look. I'll be right back. All right, this is a finished look. I did end up using one of the Kaleidos liners as well. Tourmaline is the color. That's it there. I don't know if you can see it with all my other swatches, but it's so pretty. Again, it has like a blue, almost a teal blue, green, berry. I don't know, it's got multi-shift, but it's really pretty. So I put some black liner on and then put that over top just to give a little dimension. But yeah, have to let me know what you think of that look, but that is look number 6. So we are almost there. We got one final look to do, so I'm going to finish up with this look, clean off my makeup, and be right back. All right, I'm back, we're ready. So look number 7, our final look. So in this look, we're gonna use another Cleona Cosmetics shadow, and this one is in the shade Weathered. It is gorgeous. This is more of like your grungy, gives me like fall Halloween vibes. So again, that's why I figured we could finish on this one, because then, you know, we can make a look for Halloween. So I'm just going to swatch this now, and I keep digging stuff into these. Gosh, I feel so bad. So this is going to be a lot different than these other ones. This is definitely a more deep base. There she is. So, so pretty. One of my original multi-chromes that I was first introduced to, and I think it was, I want to say Lauren May Beauty. Surprise, surprise. So the shade Weathered is a multi-chrome that shifts antique gold, moss green, mint, silver. All right, so to do this look, I definitely want to get out some of these more like fall type palettes. So I was looking at this one, an Earthly Cosmetics Fall Magic palette, trying to see if I could get some ideas from that, but I feel like this is a little bit too like, I don't know, maybe we could use that shade there, but that's one of the options. So I'm just kind of looking through. I'm hoping by talking to you, kind of figure out where I want to go with this. A couple of other options. We have Fantasy Cosmetica, the Druid palette, which I thought would be really, really pretty with some of these tones, like that green right there, that grungy green color's calling to me. And then one that really, really sticks out to me for this is Melt Cosmetics, the Gemini palette, the original palette. So I was really thinking about maybe this to do with that. We also have the Gourmand Girls Spooked palette, which I could pull out some colors there, but that would definitely give it more of a bright look. And then I could even reach into this Michaela by Glamlight Pot 2, the mini palette, for some greens. But I feel like the one that's really drawing me here, which I really haven't had a chance to play with much, is this Melt Cosmetics Gemini. Like, that's just got grungy green, you know what I mean, written all over it. So I am gonna start with a lighter shade though first. I think I'll go into this Fantasy Cosmetica and start with this shade here called Sage. So again, we're gonna see how this turns out, because this is a different type of look for me. So wish me luck, but I'm just gonna use that as my beginning shade. One thing I will warn about a lot of these shades, so a lot of these multi-chromes and some of these like darker shades, they will stain. They do stain. I still have some staining from one of those other, like the magenta pink. So sorry if my eye looks funny, but. And again, I'll do one side on camera, one side off camera to save time. Tell you what, from doing multiple looks, my face and eyes are so dry. I'm like, ooh. And again, I'll blend it in a little bit better towards the end. I'm just trying to build the colors first and then go from there. I think in here, I'm gonna go with this shade called Fire OG, and might use that to actually stamp. I think we'll start stamping some depth on the outer. Yeah, pretty color. It's funny, you should see like how many different palettes I have sitting out here in front of me. I was like, ooh, I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know where I wanna go with it, but I'm gonna have options. And again, just deepening in that a little bit, blending it a little bit more. And I'm not worrying right now about being too precise, because we're gonna clean all this up and I've got more colors to apply, so. All right, I think to balance out some of these greens just a little bit, I'm gonna go in with this color here called Old Growth, I think is what that says. It's hard to read, it's like in dark print. It's like Wow, it's pigmented. I'm not gonna worry about that too much either because we're gonna be covering all that part up. I think I'm good there. Might do some blending at the end, but I'm gonna go ahead and add our special shade. So here we go. Again, Devinah Cosmetics in the shade Weathered. Quite honestly, I probably could have even gotten more green with this, but it is kind of cool though. It's getting me out of my comfort zone of these like very neutral shades. So it's kind of cool, kind of cool. I'm just blending there a little bit where those two shades meet. All right, so there it is for the most part. Let me see. I feel like I need an inner corner. Let me see if there's anything I can use here for inner corner without like taking away the look. I don't want to like interfere. I think I need more of a gold. Let's see what Huda Beauty has to offer in her Empowered palette. I feel like that'd be really intense though. It's like I have all these options, but what to do? I think I'm gonna go with Glam Light Michaela Pot 2 in the shade called Glitta. We'll see how that looks. I just need something to lighten. Right now it just seems really, really dark. I think that'll work. It's gonna be fun editing because I've got a whole lot of like dead space where I've just paused or doing other stuff, or it's gonna be fun. All right, I feel like that's about as light as I can get it right now. So I'm gonna finish blending, mascara, eyeliner, all that good stuff, and then come back and show you the final look. So stay tuned. All right, so here's the final look. To let me know what you think. It definitely gives me very smoky, Halloween, grungy vibes. So really like it. In addition, which I did off camera here, in the lower lash line, I did mix this color Mochi with Fire OG or Fire Og. But anyways, I did mix those, put those along the lower lash line. And then I did my black liquid liner. And then I also did use the shade, which if I can find it here again, the shade Tourmaline. I did use that again on the lash line. So on top of that liquid liner. So that is there as well. All right, but yes, you'll have to let me know what you think. What do you think of these multi-chromes? I think they are gorgeous. And again, sorry, they're also very similar, but like these are just the vibes. These are just my colors. Like I love these. And most of these are very wearable. I mean, like, you know, I mean, you can get away with them day-to-day life. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you so much again, Smithy Sony, for collabing on this video with me. I had so much fun doing this. It was fun just going into my collection because I just have so many single shadows that I never really get a chance to use or just, you know, to play around with. So it was very fun to do this. So I had a good time. So thank you very much. So I appreciate you being here. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Turn on all notifications. Let me know down below what your favorite one was. What do you feel like you would get the most use out of? What had the most unique color story to you? You know, what was the prettiest to you, or what would you be more drawn to? Let me know down below. Love to hear from you. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, listen up. I got this. We got this. We can do this. Yeah. Okay. Like almost an aqua. That was a bad move. I don't know, what was I thinking? Oh well, sorry if you can see a bunch of... Oops. Oh, I did a messy swatch with that one, sorry. Let me try to... Gemini Cosmetic, y'all could see me over here in my glittery mess. Oh my gosh, I look like a hot mess. It's kind of funny actually. I really feel like this is going to be all over the place. I'm sorry. Like, I really tried, but there was just so much. And oh, anyways, and my face is so dry. My eyes are dry. Everything is so dry. I'm like parched. Oh my God. But yeah, so here's my Halloween look. Hope it looks okay. Let me know what you think. Definitely a little out of my comfort zone, but I hope it looks okay with my skin tone and, you know, just overall. And I try to keep the lips very neutral so I could wear whatever and it didn't like overtake the look. So, you know, just basic lip. Anyways, you know. Yeah, see you next time. Bye. Happy Halloween.